Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
Tonight, on First at 9 this Sunday the 19th of January 2025. Promising promise. President unveils bold plan to end MPs' pensions. Pledges to cut state residences and vehicle perks for parliamentarians. Mighty monsoons. Heavy rainfall expected in eastern, Uva and north central provinces. All government schools in the eastern province closed tomorrow due to adverse weather. Deafening silence. Veteran journalist and political critic Victor Ivan passes away at the age of 75. Strategizing investments. Central bank plans establishing a new investment tranche to capitalize on market opportunities as external buffers rise.
Chilo Dairy, Sri Lankawama, Kiren Perata. ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
කණ්ඩ පරිස්සම් කරගත්තොත්
අපි පරිස්සම්.
Asian Paints Causeway Aquasafe වැස්සත් මට්ටුවෙන් ගෙදරත් තිස්නේ.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Singh joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms. Recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now on your top story tonight, heavy rains and strong winds lashed many areas of the country following the active northwest monsoon conditions, prompting authorities to open sluice gates of all major reservoirs of the country. The Department of Meteorology forecasts that the persisting heavy rains above 150 millimeters will continue to pelt down during the next 24 hours as well. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organization also issued landslide warnings to several areas in 5 districts today. In view of the prevailing heavy rainfall, the governor of the Eastern Province, Professor Jayantalal Ratnasekar, announced the closure of all government schools in the Eastern Province tomorrow. Parts of the country continue to receive torrential rainfall today, prompting heavy flooding in several low-lying areas due to the active northeast monsoon conditions. Accordingly, the highest rainfall of 178 millimeters during the past 24 hours was recorded from the Trincomalee area. Following the overflowing of the Horowpatana River, the roads leading to Horowpatana were submerged, disrupting vehicular movement in the area. Heavy rains lashed the Ampara district, submerging a section of the Mahaoya-Pollebadda road, which connects the town of Mahaoya to Pollebadda. Due to the prevailing adverse weather conditions, all government schools in the Eastern Province will remain closed tomorrow. Since examinations are underway in schools in the East these days, Governor of the Eastern Province, Professor Jayantalal Ratnasekar, said that exams that were scheduled to be held tomorrow will be held on Saturday the 25th of January instead. Meanwhile, residences in Ratkinda, Hoberiava, Ulhitiava, Teldeniya and Agalaoya remained affected by the heavy deluge prompted by the opening of 7 sluice gates of the Ulhitiya-Ratkinda twin reservoirs. The heavy downpours which pounded the Polonnaru district during the past few weeks prompted the Mahavali River to reach spill levels, submerging a stretch of the Polonnaru-Batiklo road. In the meantime, the Sungavila-Somavatiya road leading to the Somavatiya Raja Mahavihara in Polonnaru has also been flooded, causing significant disruption to traffic in the area. The Department of Irrigation stated that 58 out of the 73 major reservoirs in Sri Lanka and 39 of the 171 medium-scale reservoirs in the country have reached spill levels owing to the persisting adverse weather. The department added that sluice gates of all major reservoirs in Ampara, Batiklo, Anuradhapura, Polonnaru and Kandy have been opened in view of the persisting heavy rains. Concurrently, 5 sluice gates of the Senanayaka Samudra have also been opened following the heavy rainfall. Accordingly, a decision has been made to open 5 sluice gates by 6 inches each and to increase the openings to 12 inches after 1 hour. Therefore, people living in low-lying areas around the Senanayaka Samudra are requested to be vigilant. Similar measures were also taken to open 6 sluice gates of the Kantale Reservoir in view of the rainfall. Against this backdrop, the Irrigation Department issued flood warnings to several low-lying areas of the Mahavali River basins effective until the 21st of January. Accordingly, residents of the relevant areas and motorists driving through are requested to remain vigilant in this regard. Meanwhile, issuing a red warning for heavy rains, the Department of Meteorology forecasts heavy rains of 150 millimeters in several areas of the country during the next 24 hours. Taking the current situation into account, the National Building Research Organization issued warning level 2 amber alerts to several areas in Kandy and Matale, while warning level 1 watch yellow warnings were issued to the Badulla, Kandy, Kurunegala and Matale districts. The NBRO claims that the landslide warnings will remain effective until 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Union Assurance.
Welcome to Cinnamon Life, South Asia's biggest entertainment hub, where awe awaits.
චන්දරුසුමේ කාගෙන් බලා සිංහ TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්.
Sadaharita Plantations Limited, celebrating 22 years of your trust.
Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
Now, with projections indicating historically high levels of inflows from the services, trade and workers remittances, the central bank plans to capitalize on market opportunities through diversified strategies across various markets. These initiatives include establishing a new investment tranche leveraging advanced portfolio management strategies. Additionally, the CBSL projects that the country is likely to record a current account deficit in 2025, driven by increased economic activity, and underscores the importance of maintaining the external current account at sustainable levels over the medium term. In its policy agenda for 2025, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka highlighted that the near completion of the government's external debt restructuring and the progress achieved under the IMF EFF program have created a robust foundation for boosting investor confidence and ensuring external sector stability. The regulator noted that the country has consistently recorded a current account surplus over the past 2 years in 2023 and 2024. However, as economic activity gains momentum, the external current account is projected to register a deficit in 2025. The CBSL emphasized the importance of maintaining the current account at sustainable levels over the medium term. The report also projected a gradual recovery in import expenditure, driven in part by the government's planned relaxation of vehicle import restrictions in 2025. Inflows from the services, trade and workers remittances are expected to reach historically high levels, supporting the external current account. The central bank stated its commitment to increasing external buffers and expanding reserve management activities through market diversification strategies. These efforts include the establishment of a new investment tranche utilizing advanced portfolio management strategies. The bank will prioritize strengthening risk mitigation measures to safeguard foreign reserve investments. Also, the CBSL said that the International Transactions Reporting System, which has been in operation since early 2024, will be used to improve the data quality and coverage of the financial account of the balance of payment, facilitating policy analysis and planning related to foreign exchange flows. Now, President Anura Dissanayake has stated that the government plans to introduce laws to abolish pensions for parliamentarians soon. While addressing a gathering in Kalutara today, he also promised that under the new government, state residences and vehicle permits would not be provided to parliamentarians.
President Anura Dissanayake attended a meeting held at the Vettumakada Pakistan Sports Ground in Katukurunda, Kalutara this afternoon. On the 21st of November last year, our cabinet of ministers was sworn in, comprising only 21 ministers. Currently, there are no state ministers. In the past, many ministers came from Kalutara. While we have 8 MPs from Kalutara, only one holds a ministerial portfolio. This is because we don't believe in developing the country by granting benefits to ministers. In the past, the practice was different. It was a way to please certain individuals. Is our stance good or bad? Don't you want a government like this? Remember, it is only we who who will create such a government. There will be no government like ours in the future. In the past, nepotism dominated the process of assigning ministries. Such traditions will never be allowed again by the citizens of this country. Furthermore, in the past, even the staff of ministers were appointed based on nepotism. Was that not the tradition of our country? That was the situation we inherited, but we have changed it. In the past, ministers were provided with numerous vehicles, including police vehicles. Now there are no additional vehicles or police escorts. It is important to note that this not only applies to government MPs but also to opposition MPs. This is because the Sri Lankan police are currently understaffed by 21,000 personnel. They are struggling to serve and protect. Some Navy officers are even assigned to serve ministers' families. This is the kind of country we are changing. We are no longer our former country. We spent 700 million rupees on the security of an ex-president with thousands of security personnel assigned. We have removed all of them. If there are further complaints, we will remove the remaining 60 security officers as well. We are no longer providing state residences to any minister. The Ministry of Public Administration and Management will take control of all those state residences. Furthermore, we have promised that former presidents will also not be given any government residences. I will provide in writing that I do not require one and no one else will be given one either. I personally commissioned the valuation of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's residence in Colombo through the Government Valuation Department. We have only valued the residence so far, excluding the land. According to the valuation, the monthly rent for this residence is 4.6 million rupees. According to the constitution, a former president is entitled to a residence or 1/3 of their salary. Therefore, we will take over Mahinda Rajapaksa's residence and provide 1/3 of his salary, which amounts to 30,000 rupees, or he can continue to pay the rent and remain there. This is the way forward. We must develop this country. Until now, they have misled the public and lived luxuriously on public funds. We will also soon introduce legislation to abolish the MP pension scheme. Additionally, we will not provide vehicle permits to parliamentarians.
Fast track your career from O levels with eSoft.
ඩයිබිටිසෝල් සීනිවලින් පරිස්සම් වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
ප්‍රයිම් ගෲප් ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට හඳුන්වා දෙන ලෑන්ඩ් ලීසින් ලේසියෙන් මීටමක්.
Single 1111 up to 60% off from the 11th November to the 17th of November.
Kalani wire කිසිගින්නක් නෑ.
කිසිගින්නක් නෑ. Kalani Fire Shield Wire.
Now, Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa announced that the government has initiated steps to establish a chartered institute dedicated to the media sector. This institution is intended to serve as a knowledge hub for journalists, enabling them to enhance their expertise in media and contribute to professional development of the field.
During a recent meeting with members of the Press Council of Sri Lanka, the future activities of the council were discussed with Minister of Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. It was revealed that although previous governments had attempted to establish a chartered institution, these efforts had not been successful. The minister expressed confidence that the ministry's current plans will finally realize this long-standing objective. He emphasized that the establishment of the institution would empower media professionals to elevate their careers and add value to their work. The meeting also addressed the need to modernize the half-decade-old Press Council Act No. 5 of 1973 to align with the emerging communication trends. The proposed amendments aim to uphold the freedom, independence and dignity of journalists while safeguarding the fundamental rights of the public. Additionally, it was acknowledged that while a code of ethics for journalists currently exists, certain updates are necessary to address contemporary challenges in the profession. Discussions were held regarding the organization of island-wide programs in collaboration with the Press Council to foster professional development and awareness.
Now, on the subject of journalism, veteran journalist Victor Ivan passed away today while receiving treatment in hospital. He was 75 years of age at the time of his passing. Ivan was a prominent investigative journalist, political critic, theorist and social activist, and an author.
Born on the 26th of June 1949, Victor Ivan played a prominent role as an investigative journalist, political critic, theorist and a social activist in the country. Ivan entered the field of journalism in 1986 at a time when the country was in turmoil with the outbreak of violent youth insurrections. A Marxist rebel in his youth, Ivan later became the editor of the Sinhala newspaper Ravaya and served as its editor for 25 consecutive years since its inception. He inked his words to expose the corruption and wrongdoings of previous regimes taking place in the country. Ivan, who often combined activism with his journalism, has campaigned vigorously for democracy and the rights of minorities. The veteran journalist, who had been receiving treatment at a hospital, succumbed to his illness today. Ivan was 75 years of age at the time of his passing. According to family sources, the final rites of Victor Ivan will be performed tomorrow in Galle.
Now, former Minister Vijit Vijayamuni Soisa was arrested today by the Valana Central Anti-Vice Striking Unit. The arrest was made on charges of assembling a lorry using illegally imported vehicle spare parts and creating fraudulent documents for the vehicle. The former minister was arrested after he arrived at the unit to record a statement regarding the illegally assembled lorry. Former Minister Vijit Vijayamuni Soisa will be produced before the Bandaravilla Magistrates Court tomorrow. Now, the SJB claims that discussions of a possible unification with the UNP will commence tomorrow. With that, here's a look at the latest thoughts shared in the political arena.
සමග ජන බලවේගයනොත් එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ දෙකල්ලොම දැන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා මේ දෙක එකතු කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් ඇත්තෙන්ම දැන් අපි ඒක තමයි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ. මේ සාකච්ඡා සාර්ථක වෙයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා.
මම කියන්නේ ඔය නන්නත්තර වෙච්ච සෙට් එක එකතු වෙන එක
The merging of these two hopeless parties is incomprehensible for the people. Can the Samaga Jana Balavege ever be revived? That party is on its way to its down. The previous government left power while stripping us of the means to provide relief to the public. However, the National People's Power is doing its best to provide relief to the people.
උපරිම සහන අපි ලබා දෙමින් ඉන්නවා.
ඉතින් අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ සමග හෙට සාකච්ඡා ආරම්භ කරනවා. මැතිවරණ ප්‍රතිඵල දිහා බැලුවාම ගම්වලට ගියාම ජනතාවගේ ඉල්ලීමක් තියෙනවා මේ සියලු දෙනාම එකතු කරගෙන තනින් තැනට බෙදිලා යන ඡන්ද එක තැනකට වට ගන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම තියෙනවද කියලා බලන්න කියලා.
මේ වී මෝල් කාර්යෝ වී ටික ගත්තට පස්සේ මිලක්.
There's no use of setting a fixed price for the purchase of paddy after mill owners have already purchased the paddy. I saw how some ministers inspected certain warehouses, including some which were set ablaze. In my opinion, the issue is not with the warehouses or rice mills. The existing warehouse infrastructure is quite adequate. Open these warehouses immediately and announce the prices of paddy.
මිල ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කරන්න.
බංකොලොත් රාජ්‍යයක අපි බාර ගන්නවා. හැබැයි බංකොලොත් බය මිදුනේ පහුගිය දවස්වල. ජාත්‍යන්තර ආයතන පහුගිය දවස්වල අපිව ආර්ථික වශයෙන් ඔසවලා තියෙනවා. ෆිෂ් ආයතන වගේ තිබ්බා දැන් බංකොලොත් නැහැ. අපි ගත්තේ බංකොලොත් රටක්. හැබැයි දැන් අපි බංකොලොත් නැති රටක් හදලා තියෙන මාස දෙකකට.
And now here's a look into developments around the island in brief.
A head-on collision between two private buses occurred this morning in Talalla, Matara. 61 people, including the two drivers, were injured in the accident and were later admitted to the Matara District General Hospital. No fatalities were reported in the incident. Meanwhile, a shooting took place on Siripala Road in Mount Lavinia in the afternoon today. A 24-year-old individual was fired upon by two unidentified assailants who arrived on a motorcycle. The police reported that the victim was a close associate of the underworld figure known by his alias Kosmalli. The police also stated that the murder was the result of a long-standing dispute between underworld figures and rival gang leaders Kosmalli and Badovita Asanka. Later, the police arrested one suspect, a 47-year-old man with a pistol. The suspect was revealed to be a member of Badovita Asanka's gang. Further investigations into the incident are underway under the leadership of Deputy Inspector General of Police for the Western Province South, Gayanga Marapana. In the meantime, police have arrested the main suspect in the recent shooting that took place near the Mana Magistrates Court. According to reports, the shooting was carried out targeting two individuals who appeared before the Magistrate Court regarding a murder which took place in Nochikolama in 2022.
Welcome back. Now, Sri Lanka's Purchasing Managers Index for December 2024 recorded growth in both manufacturing and service sectors. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka reported that the manufacturing PMI rose to 57.2 in December, while the services PMI reached 71.1.
In its statement on the Sri Lankan PMI, the central bank explained that the increase in the manufacturing PMI, which rose to 57.2 in December 2024 from 53.3 a month earlier, was primarily driven by higher production orders during the festive season, particularly in the food and beverage manufacturing sector. However, new orders and production in the textile and apparel sectors decreased on a month-on-month basis due to a drop in orders from key garment export destinations during the seasonal winter holidays. The CBSL also noted that expectations for manufacturing activities over the next 3 months point to a further improvement with an optimistic outlook for better economic conditions. Meanwhile, the PMI for the services sector indicated that expansion in December reached 71.1 from 60.5, driven by significant growth in business activities across most sectors. The CBSL highlighted that wholesale and retail trade saw strong growth during the festive season and the peak of the tourist season. Additionally, business activities in the financial services sector improved substantially, driven by an increase in lending activities. The CBSL further noted that expectations for business activities over the next 3 months remain positive, albeit at a slower pace, supported by favorable macroeconomic conditions.
Now, in other business news, the Planters Association of Ceylon has commended the government of Sri Lanka for its decision to postpone the abolition of the simplified value-added tax system to the 1st of April 2025. This decision, initially set for the 1st of January 2024, follows strong opposition from a broad coalition of exporters and business chambers. While the postponement offers some relief, the association has urged the government to ensure the retention of the SVAT system until a proper and effective alternative can be implemented in consultation with all relevant stakeholders. The association emphasized that such a system must strike a balance, ensuring the government does not face revenue challenges while also safeguarding the cash flows of Sri Lankan exporters. Furthermore, to ensure the long-term stability and growth of Sri Lanka's tea industry, the association highlighted the need for a strategic and forward-thinking approach. And with that, here's a look at some corporate news in brief.
The Colombo Stock Exchange, together with the National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange of India, entered into a memorandum of understanding to collaborate and explore the development of derivatives and commodity products in Sri Lanka. This partnership enhances the product offering and trading instruments at CSE and aims to develop personnel in areas such as technology, systems and regulations. The partnership is expected to create opportunities for mutual growth by enabling both organizations to expand their market offerings, attract new participants and contribute to the development of a sustainable and efficient trading ecosystem. Meanwhile, Unilever Sri Lanka unveiled a rooftop solar power system at its food factory and distribution centre in Sapugaskanda. This project aimed to convert to 100% renewable energy sources across its sites globally. The project combines 1,672 solar panels from the two facilities to produce a total of 970 kilowatt, aiming to generate 1.25 million kilowatt hour of electricity annually, fulfilling 33% of the facility's energy needs. In other corporate news, Harishwantha Mills PLC announced the appointment of Liyanagela Santasadananda Wickramasinghe as an independent non-executive director with effect from the 17th of January this year. The company stated that the newly appointed director does not hold relevant interest in shares as of the date of his appointment.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. For further updates, stay in touch with Other Derana, the nation's most trusted news source. Thank you. Have a great night.